Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into a really fascinating story today, one that perfectly bridges the gap between everyday hygiene, our physical health, and our spiritual well-being. We're unpacking the powerful concept behind the phrase Safai Nisf Iman, which translates to cleanliness is half of faith. It's incredible how a simple daily routine can be viewed through both the lens of modern science and deep spiritual tradition.
So before we get into the story itself, I want to throw a very practical question your way. Can a messy, unorganized room actually cause physical illness? I mean, we usually think of a messy room as just an eyesore, right? Maybe a bit of laziness. But can the literal state of your environment directly dictate the state of your physical health? Keep that in the back of your mind as we go through today's case study.
Section 1. Nadia's carelessness.
Our story starts with a scene I'm sure we've all witnessed. Nadia would come home absolutely exhausted from playing outside all day, make a beeline for the kitchen, and demand to eat immediately. She completely brushed off her mom's repeated advice to just take 2 minutes to wash her hands first. To Nadia, the hunger was an absolute emergency, and the invisible dirt on her hands, well, that just didn't seem like a real threat at all.
But you know how it is. The carelessness didn't just stop at the dinner table. It kind of snowballed. Not only did she skip hand washing, but her room turned into a total disaster zone of scattered books and clothes. And honestly, the most surprising part? She didn't even mind wearing dirty, unwashed clothes for her daily prayers. The mess had literally become her new normal.
Section 2. Illness and doctor's advice. Well, that lifestyle caught up with her fast. Out of nowhere, Nadia found herself completely bedridden, and the symptoms hit her like a ton of bricks. We're talking a severe stomachache, followed by a pounding headache, a high fever, and even leg pain. This wasn't just some minor sniffle. It was a full-body shutdown that forced her to miss school and, ironically, miss all that playtime she prioritized over washing up in the first place. Naturally, her parents were terrified and rushed her straight to the clinic. And the doctor? She didn't sugarcoat it. She laid down a very clear, scientific truth. Diseases come from dirt. She connected the dots for Nadia right then and there, explaining that this sickness wasn't just random bad luck. It was the direct result of her messy environment and those unwashed hands. To make sure Nadia really grasped this, the doctor explained the concept of bacteria, or germs. She described them as these tiny, invisible organisms that absolutely thrive in dirty environments. When we don't wash our hands or clean our rooms, these sneaky little invaders enter our bodies and cause the exact kind of havoc Nadia was going through.
Section 3. Cleanliness, Science, and Faith.
While Nadia was recovering at home, her friend Fatima and her grandmother, her Nani, reminded her of a profound principle that ties this whole thing together. Safai Nisf Iman. Cleanliness is half of faith. Think about that for a second. It's not just a polite suggestion to keep a tidy house. It is elevated to a core pillar of spiritual devotion. It brilliantly illustrates this dual perspective. On one hand, science demands hygiene to keep disease-spreading bacteria away so our bodies stay healthy. On the other hand, faith encourages cleanliness because spiritual purity is beloved and rewarded. The beautiful thing here is that they aren't competing ideas at all. They're two sides of the exact same coin, working in perfect harmony. So to help her build a much better routine, her Nani gave her 3 super practical, actionable steps. Step 1, always wash your hands before and after eating. Step 2, clean your room daily to stop that dirt from building up. And step 3, wear pure, clean clothes specifically for your daily prayers. These are incredibly simple steps, but they maintain both your physical health and your spiritual purity.
Section 4. Nadia's happy transformation.
Now, at first, Nadia felt pretty ashamed of how stubborn she'd been and how gross her room was. But then she realized something really important. True success is learning from your mistakes. Acknowledging her missteps and actually putting in the work to change your behavior was a huge victory for her. It was way better than just sitting around feeling guilty. And wow, what a contrast. The old Nadia was surrounded by clutter, constantly getting sick, and ignoring the most basic rules of health. But the new Nadia, she takes pride in keeping her room shining and organized. She washes her hands without anyone having to nag her, and because of all that, she feels healthier and way more energized. It is literally a night and day difference. Through this whole ordeal, she finally saw the big picture. Keeping her environment organized and her hands clean wasn't just some boring chore. It was an active, living demonstration of her faith. Cleanliness is absolutely essential, not just for keeping a nice house, but for nourishing the soul itself.
Section 5, our lesson for today. So, what are the big takeaways from Nadia's journey? Number 1, neglecting everyday hygiene has very real, very immediate physical consequences. Dirt literally makes you sick. Number 2, spiritual cleanliness brings inner peace. It gets your physical state in perfect alignment with your spiritual values. And lastly, embracing basic daily habits, like those 3 steps from Nadia's grandmother, protects us both physically and spiritually. It is the ultimate win-win scenario. I want to wrap up this explainer by leaving you with a thought-provoking question. Right now, take a quick look at your own hands, or just glance around the room you're sitting in at this very moment. Are you actively protecting your physical health and your peace of mind? Or is it maybe time for a quick cleanup? The choice, just like it was for Nadia, is entirely in your hands. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you in the next one.